If you want to go lucky hunting, go to your world settings and change the pal appearance rate to 3. This will cause groups of pals to spawn rather than just 1 or 2 by themselves, and this will quite literally make finding a lucky pal 3 times easier. If you are still early into the game, use rush boar and its saddle to mine quicker. All you have to do is ride the rush boar and then use a reckless charge ability at the resource you want to get a lot of it quickly. And the nice thing is that the reckless charge ability has basically no cooldowns. You can keep on using it over and over again. Once you start getting to the mid game, you need the craft a lot of cement, and to do that you need pal fluid, which you can only get from defeating or capturing water type pal. And what I find is by far the quickest way to gather pal fluid is to travel the gobfin's turf and keep on running around killing the gobfins until you have all the pal fluids you need. If you find yourself with way too many pals and a lot that you don't need, sell the extra pals to the black marketer for some easy gold coins. The lucky pals are obviously very hard to find, and they have one of the best passive skills in the game. Now, did you know that you can breed the lucky pals to pass on the passive skill? The offspring won't technically be a lucky pal, and they're the same size as an ordinary pal, but they will have the lucky passive skill, which is great for both attack pals and working pals. If you want to enhance your pals, you are going to need a lot of medium pal soul. Now, luckily for you, there's an easy and quick way to find a ton of really fat. All you have to do is go to the upper right desert area of the map and then fly around and open up all the gold chests you find. And in a good chunk of these chests, you will get medium pal soul. The really nice thing about this is that the chests are very easy to find as the area is completely wide open. Skill fruits will respawn after a few in-game days, and the skill fruit trees are always in the exact same spot. And that's why I recommend marking them on your map so you can keep on checking them for the skills you were looking for. If you want to find one of the best pals in the game fairly early on, then follow this next tip. You're going to want to take a flying pal and fly around this area of the map. What you are looking for is a huge dragon egg, but if you find one from this area, you are in luck, as when you incubate it, you will get a German Tide Ignis, which is a high damage dealing pal, and it also has level 4 kindling, which lets you refine and cook things very quickly. Ammo is one of the most annoying things the crafting game, as it requires a lot of ingots and gunpowder. So what I do and what I recommend all of you to do is to get your ammo from Wandering Merchant. Once you capture one that sells ammo and you have some good gold farming going on, this should be much easier than constantly having to craft it. So normally when you put cake into storage, you have about 20 minutes until it expires and disappears. But then if you put it into a brooding farm chest, it will never expire. But if you have no pals currently assigned to the farm, this next trick will help you when you need materials to craft outside of your home base. Of course, you only have access to the materials in your storage while you're at your base, but there is a quick way to get these materials into your inventory without needing to search for where you have them stored. All you have to do is build one of the things you want inside of your base, then cancel or destroy it, and the building materials needed for that specific item will be moved into your inventory. Then you can go outside of your base and you'll have the exact amount of materials that you need. Pals eat from left to right in the feed box, so make sure you have whatever you want them to be eating in the spot furthest over to the left. Then you do have to be intentional on where you are placing your feed box in your base, as it will greatly impact how productive your pals are. So what I recommend is to put your feed box into the center of your base so it's easy for them to get to it no matter where they are. This next one I wish I knew when I first started playing. Crafting pal items like saddles don't go into your inventory, and they also don't have any weight. As soon as you craft and pick up one of these items, they will go into your key items page, where they will automatically be put into use without you needing to take any additional action. It's also worth noting that crafting one saddle will allow you to use that saddle on every single pal of that species in the game, and you don't need to craft a new one for every pal you capture. I mentioned not too long ago about how annoying it is to craft gunpowder. This next tip will help you get a lot of it quickly without needing to do any crafting whatsoever. What you want to do is go to this area of the map and either defeat or capture Toko Toko. They drop gunpowder almost every time. I only recently discovered this next tip, but you can dismantle your base from your map. Even if you are completely across the world, you can dismantle your base from your map. This will allow you to build a new pal box wherever you are. This next tip is one of my favorites, as it is simply way too much fun. We throw a pal sphere and start capturing a pal. Climb on top of the pal sphere and it will launch you up into the side. Just make sure you have a glider handy or you may have a very bad fall. So having a lamb ball, a cremis, or a malpaca signed to a ranch is nice as you get to a ton of wool. However, once you get later into the game, you need high quality wool, which is why you need to capture and assign a Sibilix to your ranch, as they drop the high quality wool. Tip 100, you need to know the best base locations if you want to be successful in the game, which is why you need to watch this video of all the best base locations in Palworld. The darkness is a choice. Make sure you know where you're going next. Like, subscribe, and until we meet again, stay with your passenger.